What's up, D-Gens, dirtbags, diamond handers, and perma bears? Welcome back to Trades and Gains, where we cut through the bullshit, no CNBC fluff, and we just talk about what happened in the markets today. And well, it was another day of absolute slaughterhouse volume 3. Powell finally opened his mouth and everything absolutely tanked. Gold hit all-time highs. Tech flushed, and Nvidia dropped a $5.5 billion bomb on Wall Street. Welcome to April 16th, another beautiful day in the American empire. Let's get into the business. So, let's talk about what happened, our market overview first. The S&P 500 lost 2.24%. The Dow Jones Industrial shed about, I think, 700 points or 1.73%. The NASDAQ was down 3%, and gold hit highs at $33.34 an ounce. And the 10-year Treasury yield fell below 4.36%. The only thing that is pretty much floating in space at this point is Bitcoin at above 86K. And it's really the cockroach of risk assets right now. Now, what was leading this? Well, Jerome Powell spoke. So that pretty much explains that, but let's talk about what he said exactly. Powell sounded like a man trying to talk the markets off a cliff while also leading them to that cliff and then standing on said cliff himself. Warned that Trump's tariffs are pushing inflation up and slowing growth, the dreaded stagflation cocktail. Repeated wait for clarity like a broken record. Translation, no rate cuts anytime soon. Acknowledged that the Fed may not meet its dual mandate this year. Inflation's climbing and unemployment might rise. The mission is not accomplished and failed miserably at this point. And he also threw cold water on the idea of a Fed put. The markets, well, they're absolutely just on their own at this point. And it wasn't just America that got kicked in the balls. The China chippas were getting kicked furiously, and we're talking about AMD and Nvidia imploding on themselves today. Nvidia confirmed a $5.5 billion charge due to new U.S. chip exports that banned their exports to China. Because, well, fun fact, China buys like 54% of the chip supply out there. So, yeah, not a great day in the office for Wang and the gang. AMD joined the misery parade with an $800 million potential loss. I mean, let's be honest, no one cares. No one likes AMD anyway, so good for them. These aren't abstract losses either. They'll hit real earnings this quarter. So are we shorting Nvidia and AMD? Maybe. Jeffrey said the new export rules are basically a ban. Like, that's the easiest way to look at it. Don't read into it any more than that. Nvidia was down 7%, AMD was down 7.3%, and the entire semiconductor sector just essentially imploded on itself. ASML also joined the bloodbath with a miss on orders. The tech bros in Europe are crying in stroop waffles. Jesus Christ. We also had gold go absolute beast mode today. Absolute beast mode for gold. It closed at $33.53 an ounce, and a new all-time high for our gold boys. Now the most crowded trade on Wall Street, overtaking even the Magnificent Seven at this point. The FLOWSCANNER that we're going to take a look at on Investor Central Club confirms this with $230 million in flow, 90% in calls, full-blown fear hedging at this point. The dark pools also lit up with 100 million plus block prints. Whales are making their escape from equities and rotating into gold maybe. The reminder is when boomers run to gold, the youth go to meme coins. So pick your cult. Now let's go ahead and head over to our favorite segment of the show where we talk about Investor Central Club and what happened in the options world for you guys. If you want quick, actionable insights that you're able to read and act on quickly and get confirmation on trade ideas, Investor Central Club may be for you. But let's go ahead and talk about the dark pool insanity that ensued today. Let's go ahead and pull up our total cost here. And we had SPY with 154 million in dark pool prints around the $537 level. We had gold with 97 million in prints around that range too. We also had QQQ with 65 IWM with 77 million. Small caps are getting scooped or dumped depending on the hour. Nvidia, less than $110 early prints. Those entries are now just getting bled out at this point. The reminder here is with Apple, Microsoft, and Google all seeing $100 million plus prints, steady hands or smart money escape. That's what we're trying to figure out here. Now let's go ahead and move into our flow overview. So with our flow overview, let's go ahead and take a look at some of our big money trades. We had 230 million in gold calls here, not calls, but 230 million in flow for gold, with 227 million coming in total calls, with our most common contract being the 315s that are due for 620. And as we can see, we had it open up at around 785 and they were trending around 910 when another order came through as well. So some nice gains there on that position. SPY, we had 154 million with 90% in puts, 141 million in puts. That tells you all you need to know. QQQ, 65 million, mostly puts post Powell's speech. We had Nvidia with 43 million, high put volume. RUT was 20 million. Small caps are getting absolutely hunted at this point. And Walmart, 76 million with another 13 hit day on the $250 P. Some of the top contracts by frequency were the IWM 175. We had the Walmart 250, the SPY 504, the Tesla 200 put, and the QQQ 403 put. Now, let's go ahead and look at some of our unusual options from today. And what this is going to show us are just contracts that kind of went against the grain in a sense, or against what was normal and what we were seeing in the markets. So let's go ahead and dive straight in. Palantir, we saw early bullish call flow, which flipped to bearish with put sweeps post Powell. Tesla, we saw a massive call action on the 200 put, $210 put. Put sweeps were hitting the tape hard all day today, folks. Meta, IV was elevated, but volume was weak. It feels like a coiled spring. Apple, steady out of the money prints, mostly $170 to $175 range. Netflix was eerily quiet ahead of earnings, which is even scarier for the streaming giant. And we had CRK, HUT, and Uber. Early call flow, which faded later. Was this retail bait? Maybe. Now let's talk about some trade ideas here and our outlook. Gold calls, trend up, flow confirms. Powell unintentionally shilling gold by giving a lot of doubt. SPY $504 puts. We had multiple hits, dark pool backing, and Powell-induced meltdown. And we also have the Nvidia puts, which if export bans worsen, this could get even uglier for that company. QQQ, we can see a break of 420 opens Pandora's box at this point. Watch Walmart and Tesla for further continuation moves. Both are repeat targeting. Now, Powell said markets are doing what they're supposed to do. Well, if that means getting absolutely slaughtered, then job well done, Jerome. Job well fucking done, my guy. Jerome, gold's the king. Tech's the punching bag, and rate cuts, dead in the water. Protect your neck, protect your capital, and for God's sake, read the flow. I'll catch you degenerates tomorrow, and if you liked this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a Trades and Gains market recap. I'll see you guys in the next one.